Hello and welcome to Motivation, Emotion, Stress, and Health, or MESH as we like to call it in psychology. In this unit, we are going to be taking a look at why we do the things that we do, why we feel the things that we feel, and what effect stress has on our health. It's a big unit with a lot of really interesting concepts in it, so let's go ahead and get started. Today we're going to take a look at the basic motivational theories. What motivates us to do the things that we do on a regular basis? Why do we eat what we eat? Why do we do homework, go to school, date people? Why do we listen to the music that we do? There are so many different behaviors that we can look at and try and understand what the motivation is behind it. So today we're going to take a look at the 4 major motivational theories. In almost everything we can do, we can probably narrow it down to at least one or a combination of these theories and how they affect us on a daily basis. They are the instinct theory that focuses on biological instincts and how they guide behavior. There is the drive reduction theory that looks at how those biological drives are influenced by learned behavior. There is the arousal theory or optimum arousal theory that looks at anything that stimulates us and why we enjoy it. And there is the incentive theory, anything that we do for pure enjoyment. So let's go ahead and break those 4 theories down real quick. The instinct theory is based on the idea that there are automatic and involuntary behaviors that are done by an organism or species. These are also known as fixed action patterns, these genetically coded responses to specific stimuli. We see these most often in animals, such as nest building behaviors or bird mating dances, things that are going to help a species survive. Humans don't have as many instinctual behaviors as we do learned behaviors, but animals we see have a lot more of instinctual behaviors that they do for survival purposes. From an evolutionary perspective, any instinctual behaviors that we have are going to be meant for either survival or genetic propagation. And so really the only 2 categories I can think of would be infant reflexes, because those are instinctual and many of them help babies to survive, or possibly procreation, because they help to pass on our genes to the next generation. Those would really be the only things that humans do that fall into the instinct theory. The drive reduction theory focuses on maintaining homeostasis, or balance in the body. Some type of imbalance in the body leads to a drive, and we are driven to reduce that discomfort or maintain homeostasis, and so that is going to be the motivation for our behavior. There are 2 types of drives, like there are 2 types of reinforcements, primary and secondary. The primary are going to be those biological rewards. The secondary are going to be those learned behaviors. But they motivate us. If we are hungry, we need to seek out food. But if food is not readily available to us, we need to seek out money in order to buy that food. And so secondary drives can also help fulfill those primary drives that we have. Arousal theory focuses on the activation of our physiological symptoms. So things like our brain, our heart, our muscle tension, and so on. Organisms are motivated to behave in a way that allows us to achieve our optimal arousal level. And this is called the Yerkes and Dodson law that shows us what our optimal arousal level is. This is going to vary based on the different activities we engage in, and it's also going to vary based on the difficulty of the tasks that we are doing. So for a difficult task, we might need lower arousal levels, lower external stimuli in our environment in order to focus and be at our peak cognitive state. Easier tasks, we might be more likely to have external stimuli in our environment that stimulate us to be in that peak arousal level, to be able to be at our cognitive best. But also different people have different arousal levels. As we learned in our personality unit, that perhaps introverts and extroverts seek out different environments to be at different arousal levels, to be at their cognitive peak as well. So why we engage in certain behaviors or activities, why we might like puzzles or other types of brain teasers or challenges, might be because they place us in this optimal arousal level. Different subjects in school, or different tasks such as sports or musical endeavors might put us in that peak arousal level, and that might be why we enjoy them. And then of course our incentive theory. We are often motivated by doing things that we enjoy or avoiding discomfort. Incentives really fall into two categories. They could either be wants, as in they are attractive to us, or they could be likes, and these are how pleasurable they are. Now, some things are going to fall into multiple categories. Say food, for example, could be a drive reduction. We need to eat when we're hungry, but why we chose Portillo's over Chipotle might be a incentive. Which one is more enjoyable for us? Which one is more pleasurable? Might be the reason why we pick one food over another. So we see that these four theories are really going to interplay together to help us understand why we do the things that we do. This is just the tip of the iceberg for motivation. Next up, we're going to take a look at hunger motivation and all of the factors involved in why we eat. So we'll take a look at that next time, and thank you so much for watching. As always, remember, be kind to your mind.